Just this last summer, I was at the lake with some friends, and after a day of boating, we were loading our boat back up onto the trailer. When out the corner of my eye and ear, I heard a man ask another man to let him borrow his jet ski. The man agreed, and off the borrower went with no life jacket, might I add. I remember looking up to see what he was doing because I could hear him really getting into it. And he cut it one hard time to the left, and off he flew, good 10-15 yards off the jet ski, and hit the water really hard. Remember I told you he wasn't wearing a life jacket, and he knocked the wind out of him, so he had a hard time staying afloat and getting back to his life jacket. Fortunately, that time the man didn't die or didn't drown, but that's not always the case. You know, I don't know about you guys, but most of my summers are spent near bodies of water, especially a lake, and participating in recreational activities such as boating or jet skiing. It is important to understand the proper wear of the life jacket so that you don't become a victim during the 101 dog days of summer. Today I will talk to you and inform you on how to properly size a life jacket, also how to properly don and doff or put on and take off a life jacket, finally talking with you about the dangers of failing to do these properly. The first thing that you need to know how to do is to properly size a life jacket. So let's look at that first. All life jackets come with the normal sizing schematic that everybody's used to. Extra small through extra large, or 3X if you will. So it is important that you pick your right size based off that. Note, it is not important for this life jacket to fit you immediately off the shelf, just to get a good ballpark estimate, and later you can cinch down the straps and make it further comfortable to your preference. The one thing you want to look for when sizing your life jacket is snugness. Now, snugness is important to understand because a lot of people kind of take the word for granted. They think just because, okay, yeah, I can feel it there, it's snug. No. Snugness defined in the online dictionary as tight, comfortable, and well adjusted. Keep in mind, the first time you put on a life jacket, it might be dry. After it gets wet, it'll loosen up. So maybe a little bit tighter to begin with will be nice. Now that you're aware of how to properly size your life jacket, let's look at how to safely don and doff your life jacket, or put on and take off your life jacket, so that you do not accidentally, so that you prevent accidental tampering on your life jacket. The best thing you can do is when sizing your life jacket is, if you're going to be the only one using that life jacket, secure it down with some duct tape. MSC Industrial Supplies states that 3M duct tape is the only actual true waterproof duct tape, so putting on and taking off duct tape might take a while if you're going to share a life jacket with other people. That's why in that case you would just use a half hitch. And here I will demonstrate. This is the life jacket I was talking about, and on the inside here it says adult, small, medium. So it means all the way tight it'll be a small, all the way out will be a medium. So here's the straps that I mentioned earlier about further adjusting, and once you have it on and you're adjusting it, we'll secure it with a half hitch. You can get on any YouTube or Google how to tie a half hitch. It's the most simple, secure knot, and a matter of fact, and just as quick as I was talking to you there, I've tied a half hitch in that to secure that one fastener. Be careful about friction adapters when putting on and taking off. You want to be careful and not to bump the friction adapters. That's why I said earlier you would want to tape them down or put a half hitch in there to prevent it from sliding. And here I'll have my demonstrator put on and take off the life jacket, so you can see how important it is not to hit the friction adapters. And all these back here, once they are are secured by a half hitch knot that prevents any accidental tampering that I mentioned earlier when donning and doffing. If you notice, when she put it on, she was real careful not to hit those friction adapters out there on the lake. If you were to hit one of those friction adapters and make it loose, now it's just a baggy life jacket. It's actually more of a liability than it is an asset to save your life at this point in time. Excuse me, Natalie. I'll show you something here. Now, just say it's all the way loose. When you were to fall into the water, put your hands on the right side. When you were to fall into the water, the life jacket would come right up, and now you're stuck under the water, and the life jacket could potentially drown you instead of actually help you. Now that you are familiar with how to properly size your life jacket and how to stow away the straps so that they do not so to prevent accidental tampering, it is important that you understand the dangers of failing to comply with this. Like I stated earlier, the most obvious danger of improperly wearing a life jacket is death. Now, if you remember when the life jacket was loose and I pulled up on it, that's the same reaction that the water is going to give you. Your body weight's going to sink and the life jacket is going to come up. If you're a small girl, such as my demonstrator is, the life jacket could potentially hold your head under the water, causing you to drown, ultimately. Improper life jacket wear is worse than no life jacket at all at some points, as I mentioned earlier. Also, all these life jackets come with a warning label right here on the back, and the warning label talks to you everything about sizing the life jacket, through extended wear of the life jacket, through extended storage of the life jacket, which you can also, I will also talk to anybody later on if they're interested in how to proper store the life jacket, proper storage of the life jacket, excuse me. So now that you have seen the dangers of improper use of the life jacket, let's recap. Now, today I talked to you and informed you on how to properly size a life jacket. I also talked to you and showed you a demonstration of the proper procedures of donning and doffing, or putting on and taking off a life jacket. Finally, followed up by informing you of the dangers of failing to do so. Now, like I mentioned earlier, most of my summers are spent on the lake, and with spring right around the corner and the 101 critical days of summer on the way, get out there on the lake, have a good day, but number one, be safe. Have a great